Hi, I'm Dr. Natasha Rajah, full professor and assistant dean of career development at the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences at McGill University, located in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Thank you to the organizers of this symposium, Re-envisioning the Future of Academic Training, Drs. Carolina Mikowski and Cynthia Lobopin, for inviting me to participate. Today, I've been asked to speak to you about navigating academia in a pandemic era. The pandemic has impacted everyone's daily routine, both in terms of work and personal goals. The long sought after work-life balance has never been more pertinent as these two worlds collide. However, it's important to acknowledge that everyone is different, and what I define as work-life balance may not apply to everyone. Yet one thing is for sure, the pandemic highlighted that it's important, regardless of your definition of work-life balance, to be able to be flexible and adapt to your changing needs and the demands of the environment. The pandemic also highlighted how important it is to be able to multitask, adopt new routines, and yet not cling to these routines too tightly. For example, if you have a young family that you care for, you may prefer to keep traditional work hours and keep evenings and weekends to spend with your family. However, there may be crunch times such as grant deadlines, student thesis reviews, and conferences when you have to adapt and accept that you may need to spend some evenings and weekends working. As long as you understand that the routines don't need to be rigid, you could usually adapt and thrive. Now, in the next few slides, I'll go over some lessons I learned from career development program I participated in at McGill and from reading and listening to other researchers' experience as they face the challenge of maintaining an active research program while juggling working from home, having kids at home, and facing the conundrum of feeling we have no alone time while simultaneously feeling socially isolated. I will admit that it was not always easy, and there were days that my partner and I wondered, how long can we take this? But I hope the following lessons that I share and which helped me will also help you. So first and foremost, the thing I learned was to accept that you can't control everything. I don't know if this is true for every PhD, but I know for many, including myself, there's a need to control everything and to have some sense of certainty. This may be part of what makes us good scientists, this desire to design well-controlled experiments and get closer to the true understanding of how the natural world works. However, one thing the pandemic highlighted to everyone is that we have no control over everything, and definitely not over the virus, and that we must accept that life and at times our careers are full of uncertainties, and if we want to not be overwhelmed, we have to, and to be able to be functional, we have to come to terms with these uncertainties. Now, some of the things that have helped me come to terms with uncertainty and not being in full control during the pandemic was first to let go of my ideas of how things should be, especially comparing how things are now to how they were pre-pandemic. This just wasn't healthy. And I also learned to be present and to really just accept my discomfort and upsetness about the current situation. And by accepting this, I could let it go, and I could let go of the shoulds, and it really helped me kind of be present and focus on what it is I can control. So one of the things that you have control over is yourself and what you choose to do and the behaviors that you choose that could help advance your career and also promote harmony in your personal lives. Once we accept our current situation and the uncertainties around it, it really can help us focus on choosing behaviors that prioritize our goals. Now, we have many goals. We have multiple competing demands on our time from home and from work. So once we do let go and accept, how do we go about prioritizing what's important? One thing I learned in the course that I took at McGill was in order to prioritize effectively, I first needed to write down what my short and long-term goals were, both in my career and in my personal life. And then I had to answer the question, what are my values? What are the things that I believed in and that were important to the way I live and conduct myself at work? Now, your values at your career may differ from your values at home. That's okay. Before you prioritize your goals, you should first evaluate if your goals, both at your work and at home, align with your values, because this really is a big predictor of long-term life satisfaction. So what are your short and long-term goals? Do they align with your values? And then use these values to guide your goals and prioritize the actions you need to achieve those goals. Another lesson that I learned that helped me during this pandemic in trying to achieve work-life balance was to be okay with satisficing. So it's okay to be pragmatic and not aim for an ideal solution in every domain. But I will say one thing, or one caveat that I found in deciding what to satisfice on is that it's important to decide to satisfice on items that are not too close to your more immediate important goals or that cause you to deviate from your values. So for example, it's okay to reschedule your meeting with a trainee or clear some time in your calendar if you have a grant deadline. It's okay to say no to being on a committee if it will provide you with the time to continue an exciting new project that really will advance your research career. However, it may not be okay to let go of your healthy eating habits and your need for exercise for maintaining your inner mental health. So knowing what to satisfice on will depend on what your values are and what your immediate actions are to achieve your goals, and really balancing all those three things. What are my values? What are my goals? And what do I have on my plate right now to achieve those goals? What is important and what is not, and what can I satisfice on? Now, the final thing that I had to kind of learn and acquire throughout my career in academia that really has helped me be more productive and I think is essential to the productivity of any long-term academic is to learn how to rest, relax, enjoy, and rejuvenate. There was an article written in Nature by Dr. Virginia Goodwin that went into how the pandemic has affected burnout in academia. And in that article, she highlighted some important things that kind of touch on the items that I already spoke on. First, not to internalize the burnout as an internal failure. It's not something that is associated with yourself or a personality issue. It really is, we're facing a lot of challenges and a lot of demands on our time, and we shouldn't internalize anything that goes wrong. And second, she highlighted how it's important to prioritize and normalize conversations about mental health, both in your personal life and perhaps, if appropriate, in your work environment as well. And then to fight isolation and to also create ways to detach from stress. So this goes back to making time to rest, relax, enjoy, and rejuvenate. It's really important to book time off for yourself and make fun a priority. Now, of course, I went through a few items that I hope will help you achieve some work-life balance and navigate academia during the pandemic. So accept you can't control everything and come to terms with uncertainty. Go deeper and align your goals with your values and allow your values to guide what your priority tasks are. Be okay with satisficing and being pragmatic, but use this wisely. And find support and take time for yourself. So finding support is one of those unsaid things that isn't really written in any of the articles about how to avoid burnout, how to balance career and personal life during the pandemic in academia. However, it's like an unwritten thing that's so important. If you don't have support, find support. It really is a crucial part of what helps you achieve, I think, long-term academic success. Hopefully you're lucky enough, like me, to have a very supportive spouse and partner who takes 50-50 role at home, and have family members that you could call on to help you. Because I know that without my spouse and my extended family members and friends, I would not have been able to really balance work and life and be productive during the pandemic. So if you don't have support systems in your life right now, please do reach out to your friends, your family, or to professional to try and find a way to support yourself so you could achieve the best. And I hope you take some time to enjoy this journey. Thank you for your time. And thank you to my family and to all my friends and mentors and my lab who really help support this kind of balanced work-life environment as well. Bye.